Following Vegeta's own journey, there were some new developments on Earth, specifically future Gohan showing up. How's that going to change things going forward? We'll be covering all that and more in this 5th part of What If Saiyan Tails Grew Back. Thanks to Gohan traveling through time, he's actually changed the timelines already. Of course, it's happened in a few obvious ways so far, like Goku not dying for one, and it's going to have the same effect that Trunks did with androids 19 and 20 showing up instead, but more importantly, there's another big change that happens right before the androids appear. A few days before they arrive, someone returns to Earth. As he gets closer to Earth, everyone could feel his energy and they could tell immediately that it's Vegeta. Honestly, Goku's not too surprised because Gohan said that he did show up again in the future. He just didn't expect Vegeta to show up so soon, and he's pretty excited about it. Good timing too, maybe Vegeta could help fight the androids. They go to where his ship's landing and Vegeta's glad that they found him so easily. They must be aware of what he's here for. He's here to fight Kakarot. This fight isn't going to go like last time either. A couple other people are with Goku. Piccolo, Krillin, Gohan, the usual. Basically everyone who was there during the Saiyan saga is there right now. But Goku's fine fighting alone. That's actually what he prefers. He and Vegeta can have a one-on-one match, but he tells Vegeta things probably won't go how he expects. Really. There's no way Kakarot can know about the power that he has right now. Well, actually he does. He has Super Saiyan, doesn't he? What? How the hell does he know that? Well, he'll explain later, but he also does know that he has Super Saiyan himself. So he tells Vegeta there's no point holding back. Don't use Wrathful or anything else, just go immediately into Super Saiyan. Vegeta still is surprised that Kakarot knows he has Super Saiyan, but maybe it's just a reasonable assumption because of how long Vegeta's been gone. But to think Kakarot has it too. He doesn't believe it until he sees it. Goku transforms into Super Saiyan, and then Vegeta follows suit. Equally glad to see how the others grown. Goku's especially happy because he did want to fight Vegeta again, and Vegeta wonders what Kakarot must have done to get Super Saiyan. He's been through some grueling things, but Kakarot hasn't really fought anyone, has he? Goku says yeah, he hasn't really been through any intense fights recently, but he has been training consistently and very rigorously, especially over the past few years because he knows about a threat that's about to show up. He'll tell Vegeta about that later because maybe he'll be interested in joining that fight. And you know what? Hearing that Vegeta actually is kind of intrigued, but he'll save that for later. The two Super Saiyans begin fighting. It's an incredible spectacle for everyone watching because first of all, it's a battle between Super Saiyans. That's crazy as is for them. Not to mention, it's Vegeta that's back here. They saw how he fought before, and they know he's really good at what he does. But the most surprising thing for everyone watching is the fact that Goku and Vegeta are pretty evenly matched. It's not like they exactly mirror each other, but in terms of power, they're relatively really close to each other. No one has a clue of what the outcome will be for this. They just hope that whatever the outcome is, Vegeta doesn't end up trying to kill everyone. It doesn't seem like he's here for that. It looks more like he just wants to actually fight Goku. And Goku can kind of tell that too. That's also why he mentioned the androids, because Vegeta will definitely want to hear about that opportunity, and that's going to make Vegeta less likely to kill everyone, if he was planning on doing that in the first place. And Goku learns what happened with Vegeta too. He knows nothing about the Frieza Force or Frieza himself, but Vegeta describes everything. He's gone through hell, and he has much more combat experience. Of course, he has trained too. That's part of the reason he grew so strong, but the battles he had definitely contributed a lot to it. And Goku tells Vegeta he's pushed himself beyond his limits as well. Of course, he had help from outside sources, thanks to future Gohan telling him about Super Saiyan. But Goku has never stopped training. He's always been about hard work, and he's gone even beyond his regular limits, especially because he started gravity training too. Gravity training? That sounds intriguing. He commends Kakarot for figuring out that he must use higher gravity to train. Earth's gravity is far too weak, especially in comparison to planet Vegeta. And even that one's relatively weak for a Super Saiyan like him right now. Oh yeah, Goku's gone way beyond that. He's gone to hundreds and thousands of times Earth's gravity too. It's been very helpful for him. Not to mention all of his great training partners. Goku had better resources and better training partners, while Vegeta had better combat experience over this time, as well as some Zenkai boosts. But there is one thing that Goku has an advantage in. Gohan gave him a lot of extra info on Super Saiyan. Of course, Gohan doesn't really know too much about the form. It's basically what he taught himself after learning it. But he told Goku absolutely everything he knows. The sensation of going Super Saiyan, how the form drains his power, what he's done to improve it, etc. So once Goku got Super Saiyan for himself, he already knew where his shortcomings would be right off the bat. Gohan had a few extra years of experience with the form, and while he isn't the greatest fighter in comparison to Goku and Vegeta, still, future Gohan is living in a state of constant combat, and he is pretty smart. Goku would definitely get some good information out of him, especially because Goku would probably ask the right questions in the first place. Vegeta, on the other hand, had to figure out this form alone. Everything that happened after transforming, it was all guesswork. And while the fight is close, by a very small margin, Goku ends up narrowly winning. It could have gone either way. It was honestly a toss-up. Goku was simply just slightly better here, but so marginally that Vegeta could have easily won in the first place too. It was a coin toss. And the two are in pretty bad shape after the fight, but neither is killing the other, obviously. Vegeta initially just wanted to fight Kakarot, and then he didn't really know what else he would do after that. What would happen if he lost? Would he just leave Earth again? What if he won? Would he just destroy everything, or would he stay here? Honestly, Vegeta didn't think too far ahead, but Goku has an idea of what to do next. He tells Vegeta not to leave. There's a strong opponent coming soon, actually a few days away, and he wants Vegeta to help them fight because Vegeta's powerful and he'll probably enjoy this. So Vegeta bites, asking what he's talking about, and Goku explains everything about the androids. Vegeta is also surprised to hear about the time travel aspect of this, especially because he died in the future because of the androids. they're really that powerful that they could kill him as a Super Saiyan. He and Goku have constantly been training over these past few years. Vegeta was preparing for this fight, and Goku was preparing for the androids, but partially also preparing for Vegeta because he knew he'd come back eventually. So Vegeta decides to stay. Fine, he'll help them fight these androids, but not because he's part of their team. He simply wants to test out Super Saiyan a little bit more, especially because Goku mentions that his future son is a Super Saiyan. He wants to see that. A hybrid Saiyan with the power of a Super Saiyan. That must be incredible. But why not the present version of him? Well, they're on track to getting Gohan that. Right now he does have Wrathful, but he still needs to work a little bit more. Goku actually has seen him tap into False Super Saiyan once. Now, I don't know what they'd actually call False Super Saiyan here, but I'm sure Goku would just describe it and Vegeta would understand what it is because he got it himself before, and Goku did too. This path that they're taking is really intriguing. As much as Vegeta hates to admit it, maybe he could learn some more by being on Earth too, but more importantly he's just focused on fighting the androids because that sounds fun. But it does make him wonder, is there anything else he could do with his Wrathful power? Like, he has Super Saiyan, and he probably needs to perfect that somehow. He has no clue how to go beyond Super Saiyan, but he'll figure that out. But in terms of Wrathful, there's probably more for that too, right? That all remains to be seen. Androids 19 and 20 eventually appear, and they have no data on Super Saiyan, and they didn't expect Vegeta to be back here either. Plus, Goku has already been cured of the heart virus. So this puts the androids at a very big disadvantage. Goku ends up fighting Android 20 because Duro wants to kill him personally, and Vegeta ends up fighting Android 19. Unfortunately for the two androids, even with absorbing energy, these two are really smart combatants and too powerful for them. So they do get a decent fight out of it, but it's a little bit underwhelming. Androids 19 and 20 are defeated pretty quickly. Vegeta expected a lot more out of that, and Goku's kind of glad it went this way because the whole reason they trained was to prevent the androids from doing anything in the first place, but still, he did want a little bit more out of that. Well, they still have some time though. Future Gohan is about to return, and Vegeta sticks around a little bit longer because he wants to see this other Super Saiyan, even if those androids were underwhelming. Gohan then eventually returns, pretty surprised to see Vegeta here so early, but it kind of makes sense, he did change the timelines a bit, although that makes him question some other stuff. Has anything else changed? No, they saw the two androids. Although he wonders why Gohan never mentioned the fact that they could absorb energy, because that seems like a pretty big oversight. Wait, they can absorb energy? No, they can't. Well, maybe that's just a small change that they had between the androids. Goku describes the androids, and Gohan thinks they're completely unfamiliar. No, those are different androids completely. The androids he fought were a pair of twins, 17 and 18. They look like young, regular people. And they couldn't absorb energy either. This makes Vegeta happy. So the stronger androids are still out there somewhere, huh? Gohan's actually not sure about that, but they should probably check on things because even though those two androids were defeated, who knows what else has changed here? Maybe the other androids are still around. Maybe they haven't been activated yet, or maybe they have and they're just in a different area of the world right now. Now they have to begin a search for androids 17 and 18, and no one really knows where to begin. I mean, I feel like eventually, with Bulma's help, they could figure out that it was Jiro that they fought. Although that's probably not going to happen right away, and then they still have to find Jiro's lab after the fact, which will still take some time. So they spend a while searching. And weirdly enough, Bulma comes across something else. Another time machine. And it looks all old and destroyed. And when she investigates it, they find some sort of weird shell next to it, like some giant bug crawled out of it. They have no clue what this means exactly yet. And up on the lookout, Kami is watching. He felt something malicious. An entire city just disappeared. But he can't exactly track what happened to the energy and where it went, or who it was. He warns everyone about this, and they watch the news and see that an entire city disappeared. Like all that was left behind was just their clothes. So there's a couple of other weird things happening, but they have no clue of what's going on exactly. Piccolo and Kami don't fuse just yet because there's no need to. Without the androids active, and without knowing exactly what this other threat might be, they wouldn't do that right now. Plus, Piccolo never fused with Nails, so he probably wouldn't even think about it in the first place. Although I feel like maybe he'd still have it in mind. Piccolo and Kami used to be one after all, so maybe recombining that power would cross his mind at some point, even if he doesn't know specifically about Namekian fusion. Anyways, at some point, one group comes across something. It's Vegeta and Krillin. They find what looks to be Jiro's lab, and they get closer to it, but then they feel something strange. They could sense ki inside of it. It's someone who's obviously suppressing their power, but they could still feel something terrifying in there. And just as they're about to enter the lab, everything then explodes. The whole mountain that it's hiding in is leveled completely. Vegeta and Krillin are tossed back. The other senses from where they are, and they try and fly over as fast as possible. But Vegeta and Krillin are basically left alone, and where the lab once was, they see someone standing there. He looks around and sees Vegeta and Krillin. He was hoping for a bigger crowd, but he's glad that they weren't able to find this lab before him. They learn who he is. Cell, another android. He found Jiro's lab before everyone else could. He realized the androids weren't active, so he just went for 17 and 18 right away. Plus, he destroyed this timeline's version of himself too, but took all the data along with him. Not that the Cell had much different data from him, but still, he did absorb that past version of himself. They didn't see him before, but Cell's been imperfect this whole time, and now all they're seeing is his perfect form. This Cell, of course, is a bit different from the one we know because he doesn't have the DNA of King Cold or Frieza. He's basically all Saiyan with some Piccolo sprinkled in there. Jiro might have pulled from some other sources too, like maybe Gohan and some of the humans, but otherwise it's just Cell without Frieza or Cold's DNA, and maybe a little bit weaker because of that. Vegeta doesn't ask any questions. He immediately goes in to fight Cell, knowing that he has free reign to do so because this is another android. It does absolutely nothing to him. Cell doesn't even move. Vegeta delivers as many attacks as he can, but Cell is just unfazed. And with a single finger, he flicks Vegeta away. It looks like Cell got a bit too ahead of himself. Like, he's glad he's perfect and all, but he was hoping he'd at least get some fun with this. The others all then show up, and the one that catches Cell's eye is Goku, as well as future Gohan because that's who he stole the time machine from in his timeline. They learn who Cell is because he has no reason to hide that. He already achieved his goal, and honestly, he's feeling pretty happy, and a bit generous too. He was made to kill Goku, but if Vegeta was that strong, judging by his performance, the others won't be much either. He did actually sense Goku and Vegeta's fight earlier on too. He doubts Goku would even do anything to him either. You know what? He decides to play a game. He tells them to watch the news later. He'll give them some time to prepare. How about 10 days? Not that it'll make a difference, but hey, at least they can prepare to die. So now the group has no clue of what to do. Goku does have one idea though. The Room of Spirit and Time could help. Hearing about this, Vegeta immediately wants to go into it because he wants to be the one to defeat Cell, especially after being embarrassed like that and killed by the androids in another timeline. Piccolo still doesn't fuse with Kami either because they might still need the Dragon Balls and they have no way to get to Namek or even know about it from before. Like, they know Piccolo's an alien, but getting to Namek in general and knowing about the Dragon Balls there would be a bit tough. It's kind of a gamble. And that's if the idea of fusion even comes up, because if it does, then Kami will realize that that'll deactivate the Dragon Balls once he merges back into Piccolo. Vegeta is the first to go into the Room of Spirit and Time, and he was going to go in alone, but Piccolo joins him too. It's more efficient this way, and Vegeta kinda hates it, but Piccolo reminds him how strong Goku grew when training with others. Piccolo knows he's behind Vegeta, but still, it couldn't hurt to have someone in there. Vegeta reluctantly accepts it. Fine. As long as Piccolo doesn't slow him down in there, whatever. He tells Piccolo to just keep it to himself. They then leave, and Vegeta actually was able to go beyond Super Saiyan, but only to get Super Vegeta. Next up, Goku decides to go in, but with which Gohan? He thinks it's best to go in with both because they could just stock up the time chamber with extra food, and they could all stay in there together. That'll be pretty efficient, and it'll be effective for Kid Gohan too because he could learn from his future self and from Goku. And this would definitely be a great thing for future Gohan as well because not only will he grow in terms of power, but he'll get to spend all this time with Goku that he didn't have before. These would probably be the best months of his life so far. They train in there and leave after about 9 months. And they all exit the time chamber, all in Super Saiyan. Kid Gohan has it, and they seem not to even care that they're in Super Saiyan. They look completely different. While in the time chamber, they actually figured out how to master the form. And Goku honestly thinks that Gohan might be one of their best bets at fighting Cell. The kid one, not the future one, but the future one is pretty strong as well. The kid one specifically has shown huge improvement, and being with his future self also let him learn from all his shortcomings. But all three of them are relatively strong, and either Gohan could actually do this. He doesn't say this out loud, but he knows those two would probably have this in the bag. And out of frustration, Vegeta decides to go in the time chamber again, wanting to master Super Saiyan for himself. And he tries a different approach this time. He wants to work on Wrathful from the ground up. Maybe he's missing something. There's gotta be something else there. As Cell waits on everyone during these 10 days, this is where we'll leave off for now. What'd you guys think about this part, and what's gonna happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel and it shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.